High along the arid northern coast of Peru, nestled between the Pacific and the Andes, rose a powerful, ancient civilization, the Moche, flourishing between 100 CE and 800 CE. They built vast temple complexes from adobe bricks, practiced advanced irrigation, and wove a tapestry of art and ritual that echoed their belief in divine cosmic balance. But beneath their refined pottery and complex metallurgy, the Moche world was ruled by forces of nature they sought to control through blood. For them, the gods demanded offerings, not of crops, not of goods, but of life itself. These were not random acts of violence. Sacrifice was a sacred dialogue between mortals and deities. To live in the Moche world was to exist under the constant gaze of the gods, where power was preserved through ritual and war fed the sacred altars. The heart of the Moche sacrificial ritual took place at the Huaca de la Luna, a massive temple painted with murals of divine beings and warriors. In a precisely orchestrated performance, high priests, adorned in elaborate headdresses and gold ornaments, reenacted mythological scenes where supernatural beings defeated chaos. Captives, often warriors from rival groups, were paraded naked, their dignity stripped alongside their weapons. Bound and sometimes drugged, they were led in solemn processions up the temple platform, past rows of spectators, shamans, and elite lords. At the top, under the blazing sun, the priest would cut the throat of the captive. Blood would gush into ceremonial goblets, passed reverently to the priestess or ruler, who would drink from them, not in cruelty, but in communion with the gods. This act wasn't just execution, was renewal, an offering of vitality to maintain cosmic order. To the Moche, blood was more than bodily fluid. It was divine currency. Their mythology portrayed deities engaging in cosmic battles, nourished by blood offerings to sustain the cycles of rain, fertility, and victory. The priests who performed these sacrifices weren't seen as executioners, but as intermediaries between realms. In their worldview, when blood flowed, it fertilized not only the earth, but the spiritual bonds holding reality together. Every drop shed in ritual returned as rain, as life, as power. The high-status captives were seen not just as enemies, but as sacred vessels, chosen beings, whose defeat enhanced the prestige of their captors. Warriors sought to be captured in battle not out of defeat, but out of glory. For to die on the sacrificial platform meant crossing into the afterlife with honor, reborn among the ancestors and remembered in clay effigies. Strikingly, some of the most powerful ritual figures in Moche culture were women. Archaeological discoveries, like the Lady of Cow buried with gold scepters and tattooed skin, suggest that priestesses played central roles in sacrificial rites. They didn't just witness blood rituals, they commanded them. These women, draped in jaguar pelts and crowned with metal headdresses, performed dances and chants believed to summon ancestral spirits and guide the souls of the sacrificed. Their presence was not ornamental, it was authoritative. In some murals, women are shown holding ceremonial blades or receiving goblets of blood from priests. This gendered power dynamic reveals a unique cultural layer where feminine authority coexisted with divine violence, a stark contrast to many patriarchal empires of the ancient world. For the Moche, spiritual control and sacrificial knowledge were shared between the sexes, a balance as sacred as the rituals themselves. Even today, the remnants of the Moche's sacrificial rituals provoke awe and discomfort. Their art, etched on pots and painted on walls, shows a society unafraid to embrace mortality as part of divine design. These weren't mindless acts of bloodshed. They were rituals woven into the very identity of the people. in a land of uncertain rain and ever-shifting politics. Sacrifice gave the Moche a sense of control over nature, enemies, and fate. Yet their civilization eventually fell, possibly due to climate disasters or internal strife. Still, their temples remain, blood long dried, but murals intact, reminding us of a people who spoke to their gods in the oldest language of all, the pulse beneath the skin. Their rituals, though extreme by modern standards, are rooted in logic, fear, and reverence, proof that ancient civilizations saw no boundary between life, death, and divine necessity.